Hey everyone, TimaeuSS here. Welcome to another Princess Connect video. So I wanted to create a few videos for We Auto Clan Battle 2 and 3. Like I've said before, I don't think everyone is at the same page in terms of clan battle knowledge. So it would be easy for me because I'm going to be leading the two clans for this clan battle, and that if everyone knows the in-game knowledge behind the clan battle, then it'll be a lot easier for me to let them know what's going on and don't have to explain or take time to explain the mechanics behind it. However, I thought it will be beneficial to all clans involved to learn about this as well. I think for most players it will be a refresher. However, just making sure that everything is explained properly, I'm going to create a series out of this as well. So this is the intro. So I think most of this will be common knowledge. I'm going to go over the loops, the phases, as well as hit optimization in this video. So first things first, it's quite easy to understand that for the clan battle you have 5 bosses, right? And you have a CP bar. So to fill the CP bar, you need to spend 900 stamina. So I know it seems like a lot. People think, oh, it's multiple refills. Actually, if you account for the natural refills throughout the day, and you can obviously save stamina the day before, you only really need about 2 to 3 stamina refills to reach this 900 count. So you get 3 attempts per day, and then you just go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bosses, and at the end of the first loop, so we call this boss 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and after the 5th boss is down, that's loop 1. For the global server, you go back to the first boss and you enter loop 2, which is phase 2. And then during phase 2, the bosses are stronger, their stats are increased. So there are many bosses where you could fight without running a tank. Now you have to run a tank. So this is what I mean by loop 1, loop 2, and also phase 2. So starting from day 1 or after day 2, well, everyone should be entering phase 2 in the higher level bosses. So when we talked about phase 2, that means the more difficult bosses. And when we talk about loop or lap 3, 4, 5, we're talking about how far we've come around through every single boss. And you can see here that we did 7 laps last time, so we'll be talking, oh, you know what, we're entering lap 7, this is what hits we're gonna use. So that's the looping aspect. The other part is the hit optimization, and for hit optimization for the auto clan battle, what that means is ideally you want to be online twice a day to do your hits. What I mean by that is, for example, in a very casual clan, you can probably just log on, go to a single boss, dump all your 3 hits, and call it a day. However, if you want to optimize your hits, some teams are better at certain bosses. So let's take the first boss, for example. It's Wyvern here. You can actually, for Wyvern, you cannot use Team 2, the Saren, Jun, Makoto, Kaori, Shiori combo, due to the fact that against Wyvern, your position for Makoto is slightly changed, or Saren slightly changed, but the charge from Saren goes to Shiori when you run that team on boss 1. So you can only really use it on team against boss 2, the Griffin, optimally. Against other bosses, you're not gonna get as high of a score or damage compared to the second boss. However, there are cases where you have to dump the second team because there's just too many team 2s, and then you won't dump all your team 2 here. There will be ones left over, so you can dump it at boss 3, 4, or 5. Probably 4 or 5 in the next clan battle, because boss 3 is the Orc Chieftain. So what that means is your team 2 has to be dumped not at boss 1, and your team 1 ideally is dumped at boss 1, and later on whatever boss you feel is more suitable for you. But because of this variation in teams and where you want to land it best, everyone ideally who is online at a certain period when the boss 2 is alive, for example, would want to dump at this boss. And that creates sometimes a bottleneck, because let's say everyone's online right now, you need 7 people to clear Wyvern, and if you don't have 7 people online, those 6 people that have cleared the Wyvern or attacked Wyvern already are essentially playing the waiting game, because they cannot, or they shouldn't be dumping their team 2 or 3 there. It's not a big of an issue against usually boss 1, 2, and 3. It becomes a bigger issue against boss 4 and 5, because around that time frame, it's usually at the end of the day, and also these bosses have a lot more HP compared to 1, 2, and 3. So let's say 1 takes 6 or 7 hits. Second boss takes let's say 8 hits. You technically just need 8 people to be online to quickly do boss 1 with team 1 and quickly to do boss 2 with team 2. But then when you have the 4th or 5th boss that requires 20 people to dump their hits optimally at a single boss, then that's where the bottleneck comes in. So I think for more casual clans, there's just no way around it. You can't really force people to log on the time you don't want them to be. So what you probably want to do is find out what the time zone people are, and just let the people that are online first dump their hits optimally. So 1 here, 2 here, and then once you reach 3, figure out what teams you can dump for the people that come online later, because for the players that dump their team 1, team 2 here, they can probably come online just before reset if they were able to dump their hits before reset. So you kind of know, you know what, these people have dumped their hits, they're good to just call it a day, and they'll come back just before reset to dump their other team 2 or other team 1 plus their team 3 elsewhere. So that is hit optimization. It's really difficult if you have players that only come online one time throughout the 24-hour period and just dump all 3 hits on a single boss. It does happen, unfortunately. Sometimes due to logistics, sometimes due to time zone. But if you want to optimize your hits, ideally you don't do that. But again, depending on what your clan is like, how casual it is, how competitive it is, but optimizing hits can definitely make a huge difference. Just because later on, when you, let's say you get to boss number 4 and you're bottlenecked and you don't have any optimal T1s to spend here, you're forced to allocate T3s that you wanted to use on boss number 5, for example. So that is the loop 1, loop 2, as well as the hit optimization part. I'll have more videos coming up for the sync and overkill stuff, which I think is the most misunderstood part and the hardest to coordinate. However, once you know the mechanics behind it, I think it's going to be super easy. So yeah, hopefully that will answer a lot of questions. I'll keep this video short as an intro video, and see you guys around.